Earlier in this 5-part series, I shared some tips for filming on your phone. And in this video, I'm gonna break down my step-by-step process of editing. This is my fast and efficient system for video editing that will save you time, and we'll be doing it all on a smartphone. What's good? If this is the first time we're meeting, my name is Lemoine and I'm a full-time cinematographer, but I also love to cook. On this channel, I'm not only posting cooking videos with some of my favorite tried and true recipes, but I also share tips and strategies to help you make your own cooking videos. So if you're into great tasting food, or if you're trying to grow your own YouTube cooking channel, consider subscribing. I'm gonna break this video down into 6 steps. The first step, I'm going to explain the app I'll be using and why I would recommend this app over all of the other ones that I've tried on my phone. Step 2, I'll show you how to create a new project, import your video clips, as well as a quick overview of the editing app interface. Step 3, we'll be editing our main shot with us talking and reading our script. This is also known as our A-roll. Step 4, I'll show you how to layer your prepping and cooking clips, also known as the B-roll, on top of your A-roll. Step 5, I'll show you how to add text and any final touches. And in step 6, we will be exporting your video so that it is ready to share on YouTube. So with step 1, the app that I'm going to be using to edit on my phone is Adobe Rush. This works on both iPhones and Android devices. There is also a desktop version that works with Windows and Mac computers. There's a lot of bells and whistles to this app, but honestly, I don't use any of them. All of my videos are just super simple, straightforward cuts going from clip to clip with a voiceover and some music. The number one reason I'm recommending this app over all of the editing apps that I've tried is because you have the ability to easily, and I stress this word easily, layer video clips on multiple tracks of the timeline. If you're completely new to editing, just stick with me for a little bit in this video and I'll explain this in step 4. There are only a few other apps that I could find that could do this, but it takes so many extra steps. And all that time adds up to hours when you have to do it over and over and over and over again for every single clip in your video. The app does cost $10 a month, but here's the way I look at things. You have to consider this as like a business expense, and it actually technically is a write-off. But even if you're not making YouTube videos to create income or as a business, just consider this. Let's just say you have a real job, and about how much are you getting paid per hour? Let's just say it was about $10 an hour, but you're probably valuing your free time more than that. This app is way more efficient than the others that I have tried, and if you even save just 1 hour of time editing your videos a month, this app would pay for itself. It's the price of 2 cups of overpriced coffee. If you have absolutely no budget for editing software, there are a bunch of free apps out there, but they are very limited, which will affect your editing time and the quality of your videos. I will at least put a link to a few of the other options and apps that I have tried in the description of this video. So step 2 is going to be creating a new project. So I'm gonna start by opening Adobe. Oh, let me move over for this, because I'm gonna put a phone right here. So I'm gonna start by opening the Adobe Rush app. Once it's open, I'm going to select to create a new project. I'm gonna name this project Panko Crusted Salmon. And then I'm gonna select media to import into this project. The app has some sample media if you ever wanted to just test the app out yourself. I hit the back button up at the top to allow me to explore the folders on my phone. Locate the video clips you shot earlier from your cooking video. We want to scroll down and import just our A-roll clip. If you watched my video about filming earlier in this series, I mentioned that we want to shoot our entire script and talking points in one long clip. This is going to be the main shot for the video. Once it's selected, I'll hit the Create button and it will import the clip into our new project. Before we jump into editing our A-roll, I want to just give you a quick tour of Adobe Rush. I'm not going to go and show you how everything works, but I'll explain the basics and the tools we will be using to edit. So here's the main screen of our project. At the top, this little house will take us back to the very beginning of the app where we created our project. Sequence 1 is our timeline for the edit we created within our project. With Adobe, you have the ability to edit multiple timelines or sequences within a single project. For this video, we only need one sequence or timeline. The little U-turn arrow is the undo button. If you make an accidental edit, you can undo or redo by selecting this button. Next to that is our Explore Share button that we'll be using to export our final video when we are done editing. This button here allows you to submit feature requests or report bugs within the app to Adobe. This here is where you can see at what point in the time our playhead, or the blue line that you see, is within the timeline. We are currently at 1 minute and 30 seconds of our 12-minute and 42-second video. Next to that is our playhead controls. And down on the bottom, this plus sign allows you to add more media like videos, photos, audio, or music. Next to that is our project panel or folder. This is where you'll be able to see all of the media that you've imported into your project. Next to that is a button that will change our timeline view. If you select that, now we can see the multiple layers that we are able to add above and below our A-roll. On the left, you can see that we have the ability to mute an entire layer, or we can turn off the video layer and just have the audio. Or we can do both. Or we can lock this layer so that no changes can be done to it. We do not need this timeline view when editing, and you can toggle that off by hitting the button again. Next to that, we have the ability to change the aspect ratio of our video. There are the standard options that you can pick from. We're gonna stick with the 16:9 for this video. Next to that is our graphics and text option, and I'll show you more of that in step 5. And this button is to add effects, like transitions to your videos. This button right here allows us to adjust the color of our video, and we can add any special looks or filters. This button is if you want to change the speed of your video clips. And this button is used to make changes to our audio. If you select it, you can see that you have some options to adjust some of the settings to your audio if you wanted to do that as well. Next to that is the transform button, which allows us to manipulate the size and position of your video or text on the screen. We can adjust the scale or size like this, and our position like this. The rest of these tools I'll show you how to use while we're editing. Another thing that you can do is select your clip by tapping on it, and you have a couple of options to choose from. One thing I like to do is expand my audio of my A-roll to help me see the waveform better when we begin editing our clip. You can also pinch to zoom in or out, as well as drag the clip around to get the playhead where you'd like on the video clip. Now that we have an overview of Rush, let's jump into step 3 of editing our A-roll. To simply explain this process, all I'm going to do is go through my entire A-roll clip and cut out all of the pauses and mistakes that I don't want to be in the final video. So let me show you how to do this in a real-time example. Here's the very beginning of the video and the first line of my script. In this video, I'll be sharing with you my favorite Panko crusted salmon recipe. So I nailed that part, and I want to trim off all of the extra video before I say my first line. To do this, I'll scroll the playhead back. I'll pinch to zoom in a bit more on the audio wave, and then I'll hit the scissors to make a cut at the playhead. I don't need all of this footage before the first line, so I'll select it and then I'll hit delete. I'll scroll to the end of this first talking point in my script and I'll make another cut. So let's check out the next line of my script. What's good, everyone? If this is the first... So I messed up, but I paused for a second and then I started again. I'm going to make another cut right at the beginning of the second line of talking. Then I'll select the clip where I messed up and I'll select delete. Here's the 2 clips back to back now. Crusted salmon recipe. What's good, everyone? If this is the first time we're meeting, my name is Lemoine. So now I'm going to just go through my entire A-roll clip and delete all of the unwanted pauses and mess ups till we hit the end of our script. Here's my A-roll all done, and as you can see, the video is now much shorter at 3 minutes and 36 seconds. The next step is going to be adding our cutaway shots, also known as our B-roll, on a separate video layer above the A-roll. So here's a section that I want to put a B-roll clip. The first thing that you're gonna wanna do is preheat your oven to 425 degrees. I'll hit the plus sign to import new media. I'll locate the video files on my phone and I'm gonna scroll and select a video clip of me preheating my oven. Adobe Rush will automatically insert our clip on the same layer as the A-roll wherever you have the playhead position. All I'm going to do is select the clip and then drag it up one layer. I'll then slide it over and fine-tune the clip to my liking above the A-roll. Here's how it's gonna look and sound. The first thing that you're gonna wanna do is preheat your oven to 425 degrees. So I'll just repeat this process with all of the B-roll I shot till I have everything I want on the timeline on top of my A-roll. After we're happy with how everything's looking, we can move on to the next step, which is adding our titles and graphics. Here's a section that I wanna add some text to. The ingredients for this dish are gonna be 2 to 3 thick cut fillets of salmon. To add text, I'm gonna scroll along the bottom and I'm gonna hit the graphics button. Then, add graphics. There are a bunch of pre-made graphics, transitions, and overlays to choose from already inside the app. If you hit more, you'll be able to scroll down and see a long list of different styles that can be fully customized to your liking. I'm just gonna stick with the basic 2-line title. It will automatically add it to another layer in the timeline, and we can simply adjust this to where we would like the title to begin and end. If you touch the text, you have the option to edit it. While editing your text, at the bottom, there are all the options to customize it. You can change the font, the size, the color, and even add an outline or shadow. I'm going to back out of this toolbar and scroll over to the transform button to adjust the scale and position of my new text. So here's how the video will look with all of my titles done. Gonna be 2 to 3 thick cut fillets of salmon, about 4 to 6 ounces each with the skin on, about a half a cup of Panko Japanese breadcrumbs, 1 tablespoon freshly minced parsley, and 1 teaspoon fresh minced thyme, Dijon or honey mustard. So at this point, we can consider this video done. You can also get more creative by adding music tracks, animation, and a video intro and an end screen. If you're interested in learning more about how I did this, along with how to keep all of your video files organized so that they're not all mixed up with your other photos and videos on your phone, check out my YouTube cooking course. I'll be sure to put a link in the description once it's available. So the last and final step is going to be exporting our video. All we need to do is select the Export Share button up at the top. This will show us our quality and settings. Press the arrow to toggle down and select the quality that you'd like to go with. I'd recommend 4K if you have the option. I'm gonna be picking 30 frames per second. Now, just hit export and let your phone do its thing. Just make sure not to exit the app while it's exporting. And there it is, folks. We just completed an entire professionally filmed and edited cooking video all done on our phone. I told you we didn't need a fancy camera to pull this off. I'll put a link to the Panko Crusted Salmon video in the description if you want to check that out. In the next video of this series, I'll show you how to upload your video to YouTube, as well as maximize its potential reach so that you can start getting views. I hope that you found value in this video. If you did, please be sure to give it a like, and also check out my Facebook group, YouTube Cooking Creators. I'll put a link in the description. We're a community of YouTube cooks sharing our experience with hopes to grow our channels and make income with our cooking videos. Let me know if you had any questions in the comments below. I'd love to share all of the information and knowledge that I have to help you make better videos and grow your channel. Thank you so much for watching. I have a ton of other videos up and in the works to help you create better YouTube cooking content, along with great tasting recipe videos. If you want to catch them when they drop, make sure that you subscribe. Thank you so much again. Aloha.